Okay, hello everybody. This is Kathy. I'm here. My camera's not working on my computer, so I'm doing the training as normal. I'm just sorry you can't see my face. So this is the training on doing a wellness consultation. And basically, it's a really, really important part of the business with doTERRA. As I've talked about in all of the other trainings, up until now, it's been gearing up to introducing people to the oils and giving them samples and looking after them and nurturing the relationship between you and them. And then obviously it's building up and training you to do the class, at which point many people choose to enroll because obviously what you've shared with them has been so excellent, and the knowledge that you've shared with them has been so good as well, that they have trusted in you and taken that leap of faith with you and enrolled, parted with hard-earned cash. So this part for me is as important as all of the lead up to it. And it has basically dual purpose, as we will explain through this training. But basically, there's two sides to this training. There's one focusing on the customer, and then second of all, we're going to be focusing on why doing this wellness consultation is so important for you as growing your business. Okay. So this is just some accountability from last week. Now the first one is watch the psychology of the close, which is to do with your class. If you haven't heard of Teresa Harding yet, then write her name down, and I urge you to go and find her. Google her, look for her in YouTube. Look for her on Facebook. She's amazing. She's one of the, front runners in doTERRA, and she does a great close. It's quite similar to how we teach doing it. And yeah, it's really wonderful. And so from last week, I said, see if you can start writing out your script for your first class. And just a little bit of note on that. What I'm going to do as your team leader is I'm going to produce a document that is basically bullet points with the basic structure of the class, and I'll share it to our team. This is for you to use as a guideline of the structure of the class, like we taught you in the class that you've attended yourselves. I do think when you're delivering your class, it's really important to try and memorise it as much as you can, but you do need a reference to refer back to. Hence my thought on producing a bullet point document rather than reading out a script, because I think it can feel a bit stuffy and a bit forced. So it's just something to bear in mind. Okay, so other accountability is fill in your scheduled classes. So that depends on how much you want to go for it with this business. Again, as we've talked about before. And challenge yourself to book in one class from every class that you do. And think about how you're going to do that. And talk to me, talk to our group, talk to your upline about how you're going to conquer that one. So, the wellness consultation is so important, as it says here. For you guys doing the business, this is what will create your residual income. So it says here 64% is the national average versus the national average of 13%. What does that mean? It's basically the retention rate. Now doTERRA their global retention rate is 64%, and the national average is 13%. Now in the UK, currently, to date, because as always, these PowerPoint presentations are a couple of years out of date now. To date, the UK retention rate is actually now risen to 76%. And what does that mean then? This means out of the people you enroll, 76% of them, on average, will purchase an item at least every 3 months. Most of them do it a lot more. So that is crazy statistics, and this is why doTERRA is such a successful business. And this, for you guys, is what is going to earn you your unilevel and will help you with your volume every month and increase your ranks and your earnings. This is how it becomes your residual income. So how do you do it? You can do it face-to-face. You can do an online call if your camera works. No, I'm joking. But you can do it as an online call. And it is very, very, very important to try to book this in within 14 days of the enrolment. And I'll come to that a little while in a minute. So some of the skills to master. You need to teach with confidence of how to look up specific ailments using available resources, how to access their back office and set up their account. You can show how to process a standard order, and you can also show them how to create an LRP order. So you need to be able to talk about LRP and the benefits of it with confidence. Now, I highly recommend that you absolutely, I did a little training on this last Tuesday with the team on the group call. I highly recommend that you speak to your upline so you are very, very clear about LRP and how to teach LRP in a wellness consultation to all of your customers. I would advise that you steer clear of basically talking about LRP in your classes. It is too much information. It is too overwhelming for your customers. And I think it adds in a slight panic with them in the sense that, oh, they're trying to tie me into something. They're trying to tie me into a monthly spend. Oh, my God, that kind of mentality. Whereas we're not at all. We're not at all. We are introducing them to it in a one-on-one scenario after they've made the choice to enroll, and it is absolutely optional. Okay? So I think it's much, much better for them and you to introduce it at a later date, one-on-one. Okay, so whenever I go along to a wellness consultation, I actually call them follow-up consultations as well. I call them both, depending on who they are. Some people freak out that they think that you're coming around to take their blood pressure, but I just say it's a follow-up to make sure that they're happy with what they have and how to use it. Okay, so you need to take with you one of these books that are shown here, the Modern Essentials or the Essential Life. I personally feel the Modern Essentials is a little less glossy and a little bit more professional looking in this context. There is other context when the Essential Life is an amazing resource. In a class situation, there's quite fun pictures and things in there. I always take my laptop with me in case your client, your customer has not got their own. And then obviously take a notebook. Now, I always like to add at this stage to make sure that you go with your notebook written down already this person's ID number. As a general rule of thumb, I have a page in the back of my notebooks with everybody I'm enrolling with their ID number anyway, because as you grow, it's very hard to keep track of it all and where they are in your organisation. So it's just a little organisation tip there. And the other thing you need to take is your copy of the enrolment pack that everybody will receive with their enrolment. So anytime anybody signs up, whether they get a large kit or not, they will be sent this enrolment pack with the little live, share and building guides, the product guide and a little letter welcoming them to doTERRA. And obviously they get stickers in there as well. Now, if you're confident talking about the lifelong vitality or some of the other supplements, you can take them. However, again, it's up to you and it's up to that client who you're with. I don't ever go in wanting to overwhelm people with too much and feeling too salesy, because bear in mind, they have just spent a lot of money on oils, I think obviously it's really good to talk about the supplements, but just be careful not to be too pushy with it. So the purpose of the wellness consultation for your new enrollee is a personal time with you, which you've promised them. A free one-on-one is what I always tell everybody they'll get with me. And then it's time for them to have specific advice for any personal ailments. And I just drop it in, for them or close family. And you kind of go through that with them from the book. You're providing support and knowledge about the oils, and you're helping them to be confident to use the oils and also share them with other people. And therefore, you're kind of paving the way for a long-lasting relationship for this person with their oils, and hopefully that they'll start wanting to do a host class for you. So you need to empower them to look up their ailments. And I'm just going to go into some detail here. So you've taken along your Modern Essentials book with you. And for example, somebody who has come along to your class may not be comfortable to talk about the fact they have IBS or something like that in front of a group of 10 strangers. They just probably won't. I mean, I have had some shockers in my classes, and I can't believe some people have the guts to ask it in front of strangers, but I won't go there now. But most people don't feel comfortable discussing private ailments in front of other people. So this is your time to give to them and give them the trust in you to go through it with them. And basically, you can just say, you can, I'm here, I've got the book. Is there anything that you'd like me to go over with you now? Or is there anything that a member of your family is going through that we can have a look together? And so obviously, one, you're helping them and that person in their family with an ailment, and you can write down the oils that they would need and how they can use them. And two, you're teaching them how to use the book as a resource for themselves. And obviously, you can tell them, if they're interested in it, where to get the book, or at least the app of the same name, the Modern Essentials app. If they don't want to spend 20 odd pounds on a book, then the starting point is to get the app. And basically, for you, again, it's very different in the very beginning, because you have a lot more time to spend helping others address their ailments. And it's a lovely, lovely thing to do. And I'm absolutely, I still really enjoy doing it now. But the reality point will come down the line when you've got 500 people in your team, that you quite simply don't have enough time to answer all of those text messages that come through asking for oils for athlete's foot or oils for dandruff or etc., etc. And you need to, in this wellness consultation, empower that person and show them, tell them that you're still there to support them, and you absolutely are, and you mean it. But at the same time, you can give a little bit of ownership over to them as well. And it's really nice. And then you need to be able to talk to them about the basics of their account and how to place an order, and talk about LRP. It's the most cost-effective way of buying. So the purpose of the wellness consultation for you as the builder. So the key activity, which leads to your residual income, which I've just talked about. You are going to empower, and basically they become an independent oil user. You're going to empower them to order oils and manage their own account. So again, they're not reliant on you all the time. You can just encourage them that using a doTERRA account to order the oils is very easy. It's just like normal online shopping. And you're helping them catch a vision of the doTERRA lifestyle. And you're building a relationship. I personally feel that your whole career with doTERRA is all upon, obviously, if you take away the oils, but that's where the starting point is, but it is all about building relationships with people. And absolutely, the word rapport is back and forth, and you're going to be gaining respect from these people, and they need to trust you, and it's just a lovely relationship that you're going to hopefully have for a very long time with them. And just for me personally, like I said, I started my classes 2 years ago, and I bumped into a friend of mine I haven't seen for a little while, who enrolled at my first ever class, and she went on straight onto LRP, and she said to me, oh my goodness, I am never going to not do that 100 plus PV spend, because these oils are in my life. This is how we roll now, and it's thanks to you. And it's just bringing it back to being real here. It's so lovely. It's a real privilege to be able to help someone to such an extent. And also for you as a builder is a way of ascertaining whether that person who's just enrolled, they might be a user, a sharer, or a builder. I mean, this happens a lot. And it's good for your placements, which is another training that we'll do later down the line. And they might host a class for you. Okay. So the wellness consultation, step by step. And I would just like to say, I also have a script for this. So anybody wanting it, let me know, and I'll probably add it onto our shared drive. Now, just before we start this part, I just want to say, and it's been covered here already in the training, but I want to go in a bit more detail, that the importance of getting this wellness consultation booked in within that first 14 days. I feel very strongly, and I keep referring to it, that this person who's sitting in front of you has just parted with a lot of money based on what you've taught them, and that trusting that I was just talking about, and wanting to change their healthcare and look after their family naturally, etc. Now, put yourself in their shoes. Take yourself back to when your oils were just ordered, when you just enrolled. Take yourself back to that headspace and think where you were. You were waiting for the post to arrive. Where are they? I want my oils to turn up. And I like to call this peak excitement. This is your peak excitement for this person waiting for this amazing delivery to come. And what I do is I say to this person, okay, so what I need you to do is tell me when your oils arrive. Let me know. It should be in, around about 5 days' time. Let me know. And as soon as they arrive, we'll book in your wellness consultation. And it's, again, opening a dialogue, keeping it open between you and your new enrollee. And they are in their absolute, like, lap it all up stage. They're not going, what you want to avoid is that these oils get put on a top shelf and never used. That is just awful, the thought of that happening. And what we want to do is jump on this peak excitement with them and get them engaged with their oils and absolutely confident with how to use it. Okay, that's the end of my point. So step 1. So you need to check that their oils and their products have arrived safely. And I'm talking check that the seals weren't damaged, there was no leaking, none of the bottles are smashed. By the way, everybody, if any of the above has happened, then customer services will replace that product free of charge. They are very, very, very good customer services, and they will just ship out. I've had a leaky bottle before, and they just ship out another one, and they don't ask for me to send it back. So they're a very good, fair customer services. Ask them if they've got the book or the app, and if they haven't, then tell them to write down the name and guide them, tell them where they can get the book. If they're on Amazon or Essential Oil Supplies, maybe you can send them a link, or obviously the app's in the App Store. So then you're going to ask them to bring out their welcome pack. And obviously if they've lost it or misplaced it, then you've got yours in your bag. But it's better for them to have theirs out. So you can show them the stickers. They're probably thinking, what on earth are these for? And you can say they're for sticking on the top of your bottles. And as you get more confidence in using the oils, obviously you might want to start making some blends following the guidelines in the book. For example, and give them a little example and say, for in the summer, if you have hay fever, you can make up a lovely roller bottle using lemon, lavender and peppermint to help with the hay fever symptoms. And then obviously you can stick those stickers on your roller bottles. I know you guys all know it, but this is educating your new enrollee. Okay, and you can briefly mention the range of products in the product guide and say just it's for you to just browse and familiarise yourself with. And then you want to be having a look at the Live, Share and Build guides. And it's a greater opportunity to address the differences between, and for you to kind of grasp whether this person sitting in front of you could be just a user or customer, a sharer who is somebody who really likes the idea of hosting a class but is not really interested in the business, and then a builder, which is amazing. And they do absolutely come, because most people are quite inspired when they leave your classes. Okay. So I always say, I'm just going to quickly show you through the living guide and show them through it. It's got a questionnaire in there. It basically, I always say, it's just a little recap of what I taught you in the class, and it's always there at your fingertips for you to look back at. And then the sharing guide and the building guides, you can talk a little bit more about ways they can earn money with doTERRA. And then you can come back to it a little bit later. And it's just, I always advise, you don't want to be shoving this down people's throats at all. You'll just put them off. But you can just drip it into a conversation with somebody really gently and nicely, because you absolutely never know. They may be interested, and that's going to be wonderful for your business. Okay, so step 2, the living guide. Oh, I've just done this. I'll just quickly go back over it. It's a recap of the class. There's a brief summary of the lifelong vitality, and there's the oils and products. There's a bit of health and safety and how often you should use the oils, etc. So you can remind them about the CPTG and aromatic, topical and internal uses for the oils. This bit is quite important. Now you can show them in your book, and if you take out the On Guard oil, for example, you can explain that actually if you look at the bottle, it's called On Guard, but you'll see it also says underneath it is the protective blend. And you can explain to them that in the book, that oil will only ever be referred to as the protective blend. And you can explain as well that all blends that aren't a single oil that doTERRA have blended are always referred to in the book as their blend name. So the respiratory blend or the grounding blend. Okay? And this, so you guys know, is because the book, the Modern Essentials book, is published for doTERRA by some wellness advocates. Originally wrote it relating specifically to doTERRA products, but they needed to make it non-brand specific, and so it can be used by any essential oil user. It's some kind of law issues with that. Okay. Now, very importantly, on the very back of the living guide is the UK customer service number. Now, I always get them to write it actually on the front cover, inside front cover of their welcome pack, and then they just have got it for easy reference. And then always explain to them that actually, yes, it is at the moment, it's an American call centre, and they're open between the hours of 8 and 8. And if you call them up, they're really helpful, really friendly, and you are only paying UK tariff. You're not paying US tariff. Okay? So step 3, you can go through their specific health concerns. So I always ask them, have you started using the oils? And what for? How is it going? Are you loving the lemon? Have you been putting lemon in your water? Just kind of, I always find it really nice for them to be able to be relatable to how you use the oils as well. And then if possible, if they're comfortable, again, you don't want to be pushing somebody if they're not comfortable, and you can really, it's all about reading that person who's sitting there with you. Just go with their flow, not yours. If you can, ask them, look up an ailment in the book. And so if they're not happy to share it, then focus on something that you have addressed, or something that you can just flick a page and you can show them through how the book works. You can explain how to select an oil and how they would use it for the ailment. And so, yeah, my point is, if they're not comfortable to share an ailment, just kind of make one up and just go through it and give them a demonstration of how the book works. And really, for you doing the business, this is your chance to help your customer sitting in front of you to make a bit of a wish list in terms of for their health or their family's health. So if you know they have a child who has asthma, then you can go through, obviously you would have told them about the breathe oil in the class, but you can maybe say to them, oh, actually the cardamom is really good for mucus, or so the myrrh oil is really good for respiratory support, or things like this. You can just add in a couple of others that you wouldn't have talked about at your intro class, and also just explain to them a little bit about rotating the oils as well. And if they have a chronic condition, it's really good for them to be able to rotate the oils a little. But again, it's just gently. You don't want to be scaring them into thinking, oh my God, I'm not using this because I'm going to get sensitive to them. It's just showing them that there's more than just that one oil that can help them. So now, after you've talked them through their ailments, and there may be, that may have been quite a long part, you need to introduce LRP to them and show them how to best purchase their products so it saves them the most money. And like I said, please practice this beforehand, because LRP is the least straightforward thing to talk about ever. It's always confusing, and it's way better if you can try and absolutely clearly understand how it works for yourself, so you can then share that with your new customer. And so, referring back to the wish list that you just made, you can basically help them write down. You can help them write. Help them. Sorry, I've just totally been raided by my child. Put me off my speech. Okay, so you've just made a wish list with them, and this is when you can say to them, instead of purchasing all of those products in one go and it costing you a fortune, then it's on LRP. It's a lovely rewards program that you can spend little and often, and so it's spreading the load of basically a big list of oils, and they may want all of the oils at some point, but I always advise people, don't go crazy in your early days. Get your points and start, and I explain how LRP would really help them. I'm sorry, I totally distracted in the beginning of that, and I feel like I've made LRP even more confusing. Another good point is that they can purchase products that they would normally be purchasing, like soap, and get the doTERRA chemical-free versions of the hand soap or the cleaner concentrate that's great for washing up, the shampoo and conditioner, etc. And they can collect those with their points. And I was saying this in my group training the other day. For me personally, I collect my points every month, and basically I use my points now to do exactly what it says here. I every month get a shampoo and conditioner that's beautiful. I get a face cream. I buy the On Guard soap. I add into my basket and then use my points to redeem it. So I'm not paying for that with money, and basically it's freebies I've gathered over time, and I feel it works really, really well for me. Other people like to save up their points for the whole year and then basically have 200 or 300 points in their basket or more to do a massive lovely Christmas spend, or if they know they're going on holiday and want to take some special oils with them, something like that. It's just, everyone's different and anything applies. Okay, so you need to have the back pages of your living guide available for them when you are explaining the LRP. It is the loyalty reward program. Okay, so you can let them know that with a wholesale account, you can order as and when. Okay, so they can order 3 or 4 times a month or never. But LRP is absolutely the most cost-effective way to do your purchasing. And I'm just going to see what it says next. It is like a Boots club card or Tesco's club card, and there is benefit for the is there to benefit those who would like to purchase something every month. So, for example, and refers back to what I was saying earlier about their peak excitement. So if their lemon runs out and they've found that the first month of using that lemon has been wonderful for them and the family, then are you likely to want to order that again? And or your lavender, has it helped your kids sleep, for example? And when it runs out, if you think you might want to order it when it runs out again, then it is going to be that the LRP is going to be a really good thing for this person. And then explain briefly PV. Every product in doTERRA has a PV value, which is usually higher than the cost of the product. For example, lemon costs £9.30, but it has a PV of 12. Every month, if you spend 50 PV, which is equivalent to about £38 or more, you will collect points that you can then exchange for free products. So the longer you participate in LRP, the higher the percentage you earn back in points. So you can see here, if you spend 50 PV or more every single month consecutively, you will go quickly from naught. In your beginning, you'll be on naught, obviously, but the day you start on LRP, you start getting 10% back. And then this goes up consecutively every month until your 13th month, you are on the maximum of 30% back. Now, it will stay there. It doesn't keep going up, sadly, but 30%, believe you me, is a lot of points to get every month. Now, when you get to, let's just say, your 4th month and you've done your first 3 and you've done the 50 PV or more consecutively for the first 3 months and your 4th month, so you've gone up to getting 15% back, and that month you are going on holiday, and so you don't want to do an order this month. What happens? So at this junction, you have 2 choices. You can either just cancel your LRP, come off it altogether, and I always like to make it very clear to my customers that it is an opt-in and opt-out thing. You're not tied into this at all. It is just a quick phone call to customer services to come out of LRP. But I always make it very, very clear to them that if they are coming off LRP, then any points that they have accrued over those 4 months, they need to spend them first, because once you come off LRP, those points will disappear into the ether, and that is just not good, and you can't get it back. So it is up to you to tell them that, and then it's up to them to remember that. Okay, it should be fairly clear. The other option that you have is that you reduce your basket down to, for example, just 1 lemon, or whatever it is, just 1 product, minimum of 1 product. The minimum spend is actually 1 PV in order to maintain your points. So if you spend anything under 50 PV, you will just maintain the points that you have. It won't count as a qualifying month to go up this percentage scale. So, yeah, that's probably the better option, is just say, look, just drop it down to 1 Lipsil or 1 lemon, 1 wild orange or a tangerine. They're all quite cheap, but what you'll do is you'll keep where you are on that scale until you're ready to go. You know, if you want to do 50 PV or more in a couple of months' time, then it's just there and you would maintain those points. Okay? So, summary. After 13 months of spending about £38 a month, on top of getting 25% off the price of your oils with your wholesale account, you will also qualify for 30% back in your points. You would have also earned about £100 of free products along the way, which is just amazing. So this little table of I don't know what the word is, this little table chart is basically on the back page of your living guide. And so I always show this to somebody in their wellness consultation, and it just shows what they need to do to keep, the chart's fairly self-explanatory. If they go over 50 PV, it means they increase in the percentage. If they want to start earning commissions, all of us as builders, you need to do over 100 PV. If you go to 125 before the 15th, then you get a free product every month, and that is open to customers and builders alike. So it's not just an exclusive thing to builders, it's anybody can get that. And as you know, it changes every month on the first of the month. And then the last one is for builders. You can get the power of 3 with 150 PV. And I do always tell them that there is also the super offers of the 200 PV offer that comes around roughly every 3 to 4 months. And it's always a 200 PV spend and you get something amazing. Oh, God. Lip balm is the cheapest thing you can do to maintain your points. Okay, so as it says here, it's £4.20. So focusing on somebody who's showing interest in sharing the oils, or saying, at the class, I always think it's lovely to say, there's probably quite a lot of you in the room here who are sitting and thinking about their mum or their sister or their niece or nephew or child who would benefit from the oils, or a work colleague. And those people are the ones who are going to be really, really valuable to you and your business. And it's all about hosting. Okay, so in the share guide, it shows you how you can host a class. This is a great way of sharing the oils with those you care about. All you need to do is invite 10 people, and I will come and do absolutely everything else. So they don't need to do anything, it's just do the inviting, get the bums on the seats for you. And as a thank you, you will receive a free gift or some gifts, depending on you and the relationship with that person, and or how many people they get to the class. And so you ask them, would you be interested in hosting a class? And if they say yes, you could even have in your bag a little, a bottle of wild orange, a mini bottle of wild orange, or Citrus Bliss hand cream, and say, well, if you want to book one in with me now, let's put it in the diary, and I'll give you a gift now, and you'll get a second one on the night. It's really key, actually, trying to book those hosts in, because so many people say yes, they'd like to host, and then you never see them again. So try and pin them down, is my point. Okay, so if somebody, and it does happen, ask you about the business, you can briefly explain the doTERRA business opportunity, cover the main points, that the doTERRA products are very unique, and they require the education with them. That's why they're not on sale in shops. doTERRA don't spend very much money on marketing, but they prefer to reward people who do this before them by sharing the oils with their family and friends. And you can do this on a small, you pay for your oils, or large, replace your salary or beyond scale. Okay, so I would suggest at that point, don't go into too much business information with them. If somebody says during their wellness consultation that they are interested in the business, they'd like to know more, then just say, amazing, you'll never look back. I would love to work with you. Let's book in another meeting, because don't forget, you've probably been with them for an hour and you will frazzle their head if you go into a lot of information about the doTERRA business at that point. So my best advice to you is just keep it really simple and really positive, and just say, let's book in another meeting, and then speak to your upline and celebrate that fact and work out the best way of doing the next step. Okay, so moving on, you need to teach them how to use their online shop. So you enter the shop tab. So at that point, you would tell them they need to go into mydoterra.com, give them their ID number if they don't already have it, and their password that you set up for them, which most of the time we do is password one with a capital P. So you can talk them through the advert box, and that it's always changes every month. It will show you the product of the month, or any offers on, or 10% offers, or at the moment, for example, the conventions on there. You can show them their own website and explain why on earth they've got that. You can show them how to browse the products, and even explain that, there's, the wellness, or the oils, the product, the vitamins, supplements, etc. And you can explain how they can place the standard order. So a normal non-LRP order, I just say to them, basically, there's the shopping basket, there's the products, put it in. It's exactly like shopping on Amazon or on any other online shopping. Oh, my phone's going, sorry. So you can also show them the box at the top right-hand corner that says create an LRP, and say to them, this is what I was just talking about. Would you like me to help you set it up? And then it's up to them. And just make sure that they know that for an LRP order, it needs to be done before the 15th of the month if they want to collect the free product of the month. And then you can make sure that they understand how to edit their LRP basket, and also that they need to take responsibility for editing it monthly. So otherwise they're going to get the auto ship, and they don't want the same order twice. So some details about LRP. Show them how to view their points on their dashboard. Now this has all changed. So basically most of the people you're going to be enrolling now are going to be wholesale customers, and they don't have a dashboard. It's all on the same shop page, which is all they get now. Say that they will receive an email from doTERRA a couple of days before their LRP is due to go out, and they must edit their LRP every month, unless of course they want to just order one more lemon again. But for example, if they've got a mood management kit in their basket in February and they don't edit the basket, they will receive the mood management kit again in March. Now doTERRA are very good at dealing with those kinds of things, and they return and give you your money back, but it is a bit of a you would like to avoid it if you can. So you cannot earn LRP on your first month. So this is your enrolling month. You can only start earning points on your second month's order, and then those points will show up in your points basket in the third month, and it's always on the 15th, 16th of the following month. So any points, if you've done an order, for example, today, at the beginning of February, your points that you've done for this order will appear in your points basket in the middle of March, the 15th to 16th of March. Okay, and that's the same every month. So yes, finally, you can give them resources at this point and say, would you like me to add you to Facebook pages? So you can see here's some. The Essential Gifts of the Earth is for all wellness advocates. The Family Physicians Kit is for those who bought that kit. There's a Cleanse and Restore with doTERRA for those. There's Building and Sharing with the Gifts of the Earth, and that's for anybody deciding to join the business only. And then Silver Blossom is Nathan and Rebecca's Builders Only. Obviously there's the Tribe page as well for us, and it's up to you to ascertain where they need to be added. And if any of you are not on any of these groups and you would like to be, as a side note, tell me. And obviously you can just briefly mention that you are going to be running future classes, like the continued education rounds, etc. And obviously there's more specialist classes available either online or in, face-to-face. And then offer them another follow-up with them in about a month, and just check that they're okay and how they're getting on, and do they need any more help. So the purpose of that is to review their oils and ailments and see if they have any questions or queries, see what results they've got. If they've got any questions about their account, remind them of their customer services number, how are they getting on LRP, or if they weren't on it, how, is that something they might want to do now? Remind them about the advanced classes, and again ask them if they'd like to host a class. And then business referrals for a business or class. So homework, if you choose to accept, learn about LRP. Now again, like I said, it's something that will become much clearer to you the more you talk about it and the more you understand it. There's a great understanding of it on doTERRA University. There's also some lovely YouTube videos explaining it. There's some really, really, really simple ones. And I'll see if I can try and find one and share it on our group page, because it helps you to teach it better, basically. As it says here, practice teaching it and make sure that you are confident with the basics of it and the back office. So carried on homework is book in any wellness consultations with anybody who needs them, and call on any of your team who have been enrolled for more than a month. Okay, right. So that's the end of the training. And I'm going to stop recording. So thanks everybody. Thanks for joining. Press stop.